In 1944, during the height of World War II, a tank commander vanished without a trace. His fighter tank simply disappeared from the battlefield one day, and not a single person knew what happened to it, or its crew, until searchers made an incredible discovery 40 years later. It all went down in 1944, when a German tank with 5 crew members inside went missing in action during a brutal battle in Eastern Europe. When the dust settled, the enemy forces were gone. There was no sign of a struggle and no wreckage anywhere. It was as if the tank and its crew had vanished into thin air. For decades, the families of the missing soldiers were left with more questions than answers. What happened to them? Did they abandon ship? Were they captured? And why was there no trace of a fight? Well, the mystery remained unsolved until the 1980s, when a group of historians and divers set out to solve the case. They scoured the area, interviewed locals, and followed up on every lead, no matter how small. It was then that they heard a rumor from some of the locals that there was a tank buried deep in the forest, or perhaps sunk into a nearby swamp. Nobody knew exactly where or why, but the stories persisted. Then one day, while scanning the murky depths with sonar, they picked up something massive. It was a perfect oval, like a giant metallic egg hidden beneath the mud. Excited, the searchers immediately began to dig. And what they found was nothing short of incredible. A perfectly preserved World War II tank, untouched and hidden from view for almost 40 years. But that was only the beginning. As they opened the hatch and peered inside, they saw the remains of the crew still seated at their stations, frozen in time as if the battle had just been paused. Personal belongings were strewn about, untouched and surprisingly well preserved. Letters, photographs, a commander's watch, which, when first uncovered, was still ticking. How could such a large and heavy tank vanish without anyone noticing? Some say the soft swamp ground swallowed the giant war machine whole as it sank into the muck. Others whisper about a cursed ground that has a mind of its own and a taste for iron and blood. The most unsettling detail is that the radio inside the tank still had a faint signal when the searchers first powered it on decades later. Was it just interference or a final message trapped in time? The discovery brought closure to the families of the missing soldiers, but also left behind a chilling mystery. Some things from the war were never meant to be found. Now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below. What do you think is the creepiest part of this story? The cursed ground, or the message from beyond the grave? Let me know, and be sure to stay tuned for more spine-tingling tales. See you next time.